Hey folks, welcome to Wolfpane's Game Again. Today we have another unboxing video for you. We'll be unboxing Metallum, a two-player card-playing game designed by Wojciech Krupnik and Wojciech. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing these names, which I'm almost certain I am. It's a two-player game, sci-fi themed, where a card play is a big part of it, from what I can see based on the back of the box. The game is expected to play in about 45 to 60 minutes. I have not played the game before, so hopefully we'll validate that at some point in the future as well. So with that, let's go to the table, let's open up the box and see what you can expect if you want to pick up one of these yourself. Alright folks, so here we have the box for Metallum with the front of art going on in the box itself. Now, I don't know a lot about the game. I've not played it before. But I'm excited to find out what's inside as well as try it out and see what it feels like. I do like games with a sci-fi theme in general. My first impressions of the box, just looking at it, I find the box cover, the front art to be okay. Like it's not. There have definitely been sci-fi games that have much better artwork going on than this. It's nothing bad, but it's a little generic for my taste, and that somewhat continues a little bit with the back of the box as well. It gives you a description of what you can sort of like expect in terms of storyline and theme and what you can expect. So it is a game for two players. Time is given as 45 to 60 minutes for 10 years and above. I don't know much beyond it at this point, so let's open it up. Let's see what's inside and see what we can make of it. Alright, so as always, I'll be moving things around on the table to make space when and as required. So here we go. Alright, so first off, we have the rule book. A lot of text going on the front page by the look of things, but it seems like, so you have the game overview and the objective listed there, so some of this might just be flavor text that gives you a bit of background. So, interstellar travel never developed the way the 20th century novelists thought it would. Once all the needed technologies had been discovered, it turned out that using them with living organisms would lead to their inevitable degradation. All right, and then of course it goes on, so there's a lot more to it. I'm not going to bore you guys with all of that. So quick overview of the game components. It looks like there might be a little bit of assembly required with some of the pieces. You have your cubes. There seem to be module cards going on in here. There's a lot of tiles. So not as many cards as I was expecting, but it seems like there's going to be a lot of cardboard pieces going on as well. So perhaps not a two-player, deck building sort of a game or card play sort of a game as I might have expected. Game setup looks to be relatively easy to do, I think. Playing the game, so it goes into the rules. Phase 1 is programming, phase 2 is actions, phase 3 scoring, phase 4 end of round, end of sequence 1 and 2, and then ending the game. So the rules itself, it's in terms of what you're doing as you're playing the game, not a lot going on. It's basically 3 pages or less than 3.5 pages. But I will say that it is a little text heavy on the pages that it does go through, so keep that in mind. Other rules, okay, so it's the finer details of the game still continue. Action phase example, so hopefully and something that illustrates what the gameplay would look like. And then, yeah, quick overview, I guess, going on in the background right here. Alright, so that's your rule book for Metallum. Now we have a bunch of these tiles, so let's have a look at it. So these look like planets, I'm gonna say. These are punch out real pretty well, actually. Okay thickness. So here you can see the front art on the planets. It is double-sided, but the back end is just general artwork going on. More of these. The planets do seem to have their names, and they do seem to be unique in terms of the artwork and function. All right, so it looks like you have 2 player screens that can be put up. There's nothing on the other side, it's just artwork, so there's no information that's being relayed on the other side. So it's just meant to be, I suppose, very functional. Just hide whatever pieces you may need to from the other player. So you have 2 of these that come in the game. Again, the artwork is actually just the same that you have in the front and the back for both of these. And it's actually the same artwork you have in the front of the box, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. All right. Bringing this back, so you have more planet tiles that need to be punched out. Smaller tokens, I'm not quite sure what these do. There's a couple of tokens denoting 100 over here. And then what look like 2 ship tiles. Yep. I'm almost expecting to see standees that you can perhaps put these up in. So we'll see if that's the case or not. Okay. More markers. So these look like they interlock. Not sure if that serves a particular function or if it's just aesthetics, but there's a few of these that you can punch out here as well. Overall, the quality seems to be decent. Nothing overly impressive or anything to complain about. It's just solid and seems to work. Here we have looks like some sort of a market board, perhaps, where you have different prices laid out. You may I don't know if you're going to be buying cards or playing cards in these areas, but you have that. So we'll move these to the side. These are the pieces that looks like you might be assembling. So let's have a quick look at one of these and see how it might work. So these punch out. I punched out the middle sections, bringing these 2 in. I think the way that it might work is once you attach these here, so you might be turning the zine and sort of like having different values displayed on either one of these sides. So these might be life counters or point counters. We'll have to figure that out once we get to the rule book. More tokens, again, punch out very easily. Yeah, and then on the back side, just plain color, not really a lot of artwork, but there you go. And then lastly, for a game that I started off thinking was going to be a card-driven game, it looks like there is very few cards in the game, so it's not perhaps card-driven at all. It's let's see what these look like. All right, so they all seem to have similar art on the back end, and there do seem to be 2 different colors. So there's something with a slightly brown hue and then something with a slightly bluish hue. So it might be 2 different set of cards for the 2 different players. Let's have a look at the cards themselves. So it's interesting because there is a white border going across the card itself. Not something I've seen in a lot of newer games, but then again, this is not a new game, so it might not be a completely fair criticism. But it's just interesting to know that it's there, because nowadays I am more used to just cards where the whole surface area of it is basically just covered with color and artwork and so on. The cards themselves look okay. There's some nice artwork going on in here, but I can see some of the artworks repeat already, although not that often. When I say repeat, I basically mean there's perhaps 2 of any one of them at most. So I think I remember seeing there's about maybe 20 cards, so you might be looking at 10 different type of artworks on these 20 different cards or so. Cardstock could be thicker, but it's okay. I don't know if this is going to be very card intensive in terms of play, but there's that. Open these up. So these are the things that you'll be using to put the to hold those cardboard pieces together and make the counters. And as expected, you have these holders, which I'm almost certain will be attached to the ships and then have them stand on the boat somewhere or in the play area somewhere. And then we have wooden cubes. I don't know if these are divvied up by a player color or something else, but yeah, it's what you would expect for wooden cubes. I will just say that some of the colors do seem to be a little off on some of these, but yeah, I mean, these are what they are. It's you know, limit your expectation for wooden cubes is all I'm going to say. Yeah, so with that, that's pretty much it. Simple insert, and that's pretty much it. So that's the unboxing for Metallum. Let's go back to the table for some final words. Alright everyone, so that was the unboxing for the game Metallum. I still don't know a lot about the game, but I'm excited to try it out. I love trying out new two-player games that I may not have heard that much about, because I've discovered some of my favorites that way, where a game you haven't heard of that much just sort of like, you know, comes out of nowhere and gives you something new and exciting. I don't know if it's going to be one of those or if it's going to be a complete dud, but I guess I'll find out. And with that, that's it for another unboxing on my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.